Today on the ODU Science Network, we have Dr. Bethany Sheldon, who is going to be talking about ALS.
Good morning, thank you. I'm Dr. Sheldon, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I've been working with ALS patients for about 10 years now.
Wow, so you know a lot about the disease? For our viewers who are not familiar with the disease, would you like to tell us more about it?
ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Coming from the Greek language, amyotrophic means no muscle nourishment. The lateral in ALS is referring to the area of the spinal cord where the nerves that signal and control the muscles are located, and the sclerosis means hardening or scarring. ALS is also known in the U.S. as Lou Gehrig's disease and in other countries as motor neuron disease. The disease is very rare, with only 5,000 to 6,000 cases diagnosed a year and 20,000 patients dealing with the disease at any one time.
Why is ALS called Lou Gehrig's disease?
Lou Gehrig was a Hall of Fame baseball player that played for the Yankees in the 1930s. In 1938, Gehrig went to the doctors after having trouble tying his shoes, and he was then diagnosed with ALS. Gehrig retired that year and later died in 1941, peacefully in his sleep.
So him being a well-known figure in the U.S. brought a lot of attention to the disease?
Yes, it sure did.
Today you have one of your patients with you, is that correct?
Yeah, I do. I brought with me a patient I've been seeing for about a year now, Kyle Taylor. Kyle, you want to come on out?
So Kyle, you have ALS?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little about what it's like to live with the disease?
Living with ALS is a constant struggle. I first saw symptoms in my hands whenever I tried to text or type. Then these symptoms got worse and spread to my feet whenever I tried to walk. As these symptoms got worse, I went to see Dr. Sheldon, and after numerous tests and procedures, she diagnosed me with ALS.
I'd imagine the tests were endless. What exactly did you have to go through?
First, we did an MRI. Then she had me do an EMG, which is when they stick needles into your muscles to see further electrical activity. Then we did a blood and urine test, and finally the spinal tap confirmed her diagnosis.
Wow, that is a lot to go through. Didn't Lou Gehrig eat a plate of garden grass every day for the vitamin E it contained? How are you being treated?
Yes, Lou Gehrig ate a plate of garden grass every day because the doctors in that time period had no idea what to do. As of right now, my treatment is taking riluzole because it slows the progress of the symptoms. And although riluzole will never cure me, it helps me get through the day, and it sure does beat in grass.
So, it is not a cure.
As of right now, there is no cure.
There is no cure. Hasn't ALS been around since the 1860s?
The disease was discovered in 1869 by a French neurologist, Jean-Martin Charcot, but ALS disease did not receive any national attention until Lou Gehrig. A Scottish surgeon named Charles Bell made descriptions of the ALS disease in 1824, but the connection between the symptoms and the underlying neurological problems were first described by Jean-Martin Charcot, who created and began using the term amyotrophic lateral sclerosis in 1847. The doctors still have not found a cause for the disease. Some cases are inherited, but others are simply a genetic mutation, and the cause of the genetic mutation has not been discovered yet.
Interesting. I'm sure our audience would like to get in on this discussion. Does anyone have any questions for our guests?
Yeah, you, sir. Yes, you.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do have a question. Kyle, you said that you are seeing symptoms of the ALS. My grandma has ALS, and she is losing feelings in her feet and hands. Are you seeing this, or really, how severe are your symptoms?
I'm in the early stages of ALS, and my symptoms aren't that severe yet, but I do have trouble using my hands and feet because my muscle cells in those areas are slowly deteriorating.
My colleague, Dr. Bogans, is an expert on the disease and is here by video feed to explain some of the symptoms.
Hello, I'm Dr. Bogans. Symptoms are a result of motor neurons dying, which stop sending nerve impulses to muscles. Messages from neurons in the brain are transmitted to motor neurons in the spinal cord and then to particular muscles. But a gene mutation causes the body to attack its own motor neurons. Muscle weakness will then spread into the legs and arms, making it very difficult to walk, eventually causing patients to become wheelchair-bound. As the disease progresses, patients will begin to lose muscle functions of their mouth and tongue and will slur their words and also have trouble swallowing. The disease becomes fatal when the muscle weakness spreads to the lungs, making it very hard to breathe. Back to you, Dr. Sheldon.
Those are the symptoms the popular Ice Bucket Challenge is supposed to represent. The challenge was designed and introduced on social media to bring awareness to the disease and raise money for research. Dumping a bucket of ice-cold water onto your head gives you a small glimpse of what it feels like to not have control of your muscles for a brief second. This challenge by no means represents the struggles of patients living with ALS, but did a thorough job of bringing awareness to such an unfortunate disease. Here, for your viewing pleasure, are a few clips of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
I am ready for the ice now.
But, all right, Kevin, Andy, come on out.
Thank you so much, both of you, for being here with us today. We appreciate this insight. Can we give them a round of applause, everyone?